The whole world was shocked when Jackie filed for divorce, demanding $300 million from Doug. People could not believe it. How could a couple that once looked so strong fall apart in such a dramatic way? At first, Jackie acted like a heartbroken wife. She said Doug had betrayed her, disrespected their marriage, and left her with no choice but to walk away. The media went wild, calling Doug a cheater, a liar, and a man who did not deserve the fortune he had built. But here's the surprising part. Doug had a completely different story, and he was not going to stay silent. Everything started to change very quickly. While Jackie was making emotional statements, giving interviews, and gaining public sympathy, Doug was quietly collecting evidence. He was not just fighting for his money, he was fighting for his reputation. He had worked hard for years to build his career, and he was not going to let Jackie destroy it with lies. But this is where it gets even more shocking. Doug was not just saying he was innocent, he had proof that could change everything. At first, Jackie's lawyers were sure they would win. They had made Doug look like the villain and believed they had all the evidence they needed. Jackie was asking for $300 million, saying she had given up everything for Doug's success. She claimed that without her, Doug would not be where he was today. Fans supported her, calling Doug a selfish husband who had abandoned the woman who stood by his side. But what made this case different was that it was not just about money. It was about secrets. And Doug had a huge secret that Jackie never expected him to reveal. The tension kept rising. Doug stayed calm, letting Jackie believe she was in control. But behind the scenes, he was preparing for the biggest fight of his life. He had hired the best lawyers and investigators and had documents that could destroy Jackie's case in seconds. Then, the moment finally came. Doug's legal team stepped forward, ready to reveal something so shocking that even Jackie's lawyers started to panic. The most unbelievable part? Jackie had been hiding something all along, and Doug was about to expose it in front of the entire world. The courtroom was full. Reporters, fans, and legal experts were all waiting for Doug's next move. Jackie sat confidently, thinking she had everything under control. After all, she had spent weeks making Doug look like the villain and making sure everyone saw her as the victim. But here is where everything changed. She had no idea what was coming. Doug's lawyer stood up, holding a folder that would change everything. He walked to the judge and handed over documents that no one expected. The judge looked at them, raised an eyebrow, and then turned to Jackie's lawyers. "Would you like to explain this?" The courtroom went silent. Jackie shifted uncomfortably in her seat. She whispered something to her lawyer, but it was too late. Fate had taken a surprising turn. Doug was not just defending himself, he was exposing Jackie's secrets. The documents showed that Jackie had been hiding money, lying about her finances, and twisting the truth. The same woman who had accused Doug of betrayal was now caught in her own web of lies. This was no longer just about divorce money. Jackie could be in serious legal trouble. And here's where it gets even more unbelievable. Doug's legal team revealed that Jackie had secretly moved millions of dollars into hidden accounts while pretending she was broke. At the same time, she was trying to take $300 million from Doug. The courtroom gasped. Jackie's confident expression disappeared. Most celebrity divorces are full of drama, but this was turning into a full-blown scandal. Jackie was not just at risk of losing the case, she could face criminal charges for financial fraud. Doug had known the truth all along. That is why he had stayed silent, letting Jackie think she was winning. But now, everything was out in the open. And the most shocking part? Jackie was not the only one involved in this deception. Doug had one more secret to reveal. There was one more shocking truth left, and this one was going to change everything. Jackie's hands trembled as she flipped through the documents. Her face turned pale. The entire courtroom was silent, with all eyes locked on her. But here is the most surprising part. Doug was not finished yet. He took a deep breath and leaned forward, his voice calm but firm. "You have been lying, Jackie. Not just about the money, but about everything." The judge looked at Jackie's lawyer, waiting for a response, but they were just as shocked as everyone else. Jackie finally spoke, her voice shaking. "This is ridiculous. Doug is just trying to ruin me because because he does not want to pay. But this is where it got even more interesting. Doug's lawyer smiled and pulled out another set of documents. He handed them to the judge, and within seconds, the entire courtroom gasped again. These were not just financial records. They were proof of Jackie's secret business deals, money hidden in offshore accounts, properties she had kept a secret, and even evidence that she had been working against Doug's brand while pretending to support him. But what made this story different was that Jackie was not just after Doug's money. She had been planning against him for years. Doug finally stood up, his voice steady. "Jackie, you never planned to just walk away. You wanted to destroy me, make me look like the bad guy, and take everything I worked for." Jackie's mask was slipping. The image of a betrayed wife that she had carefully created was now falling apart. She shook her head, but the evidence was too strong. And then, the craziest part happened. Doug had one last truth to reveal. Something even Jackie never saw coming. He turned to the judge, and his next words sent shockwaves through the courtroom. "Your Honor, I have a witness who can confirm everything. And trust me, you will not believe who it is." The tension in the courtroom was unbearable. Everyone leaned forward, waiting for the name. Jackie's confidence had completely vanished. Her eyes darted around as if looking for an escape. Doug took a deep breath and finally said it. And this is where it got even more unbelievable. The witness was Jackie's own assistant, Melissa. Gasps filled the room. Jackie's face turned red as she snapped. She would never do this. This is a setup. But before she could say another word, the doors swung open. Melissa walked in, looking nervous but determined. Doug's lawyer signaled for her to take the stand. Jackie shook her head in disbelief. Melissa's hands were shaking as she picked up the microphone. "I never wanted to do this," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "But I cannot keep covering for her." She took a deep breath and finally revealed the truth. "And you will not believe this. Jackie had planned the entire divorce long before she even filed for it." Melissa showed emails, voice recordings, and text messages proving that Jackie had been working on this scheme for over a year. "She told me to start collecting dirt on Doug months before she even mentioned divorce," Melissa confessed. She wanted to make sure she would get as much money as possible and destroy his career in the process. Jackie's mouth fell open. "That is a lie. She is making this up." But Doug's lawyer was ready. He pulled out phone records proving that Jackie had been in constant contact with private investigators, financial advisors, and even certain media outlets, feeding them false stories to make Doug look bad. Fate had taken a surprising turn. Jackie's perfect plan was falling apart right in front of her. Doug watched her closely, his face calm and unreadable. The courtroom was now buzzing with murmurs. Just days ago, everyone believed Jackie was only fighting for what she deserved. But now, the truth showed a completely different story. And the craziest part? Doug was not finished yet. He had one final piece of evidence that would destroy Jackie's case completely. Doug's lawyer paused for a moment, letting Melissa's testimony sink in. Jackie sat frozen, her mind racing. But before she could react, Doug finally spoke. "Let me tell you, this is the moment everyone has been waiting for." He reached into his briefcase, pulled out a thick file, and placed it on the table with a loud thud. "This," Doug said, his voice calm but firm, "is the real truth about Jackie's finances." Jackie's eyes widened in horror. She had expected Doug to fight back, but she never thought he would uncover this. Doug's lawyer opened the file and slid a stack of documents toward the judge. "Your Honor, these financial statements prove that Jackie was hiding millions. Not just from Doug, but from the court." Gasps filled the room. Even Jackie's own lawyer looked panicked. And here is where it got even more unbelievable. Jackie had been lying about her money this whole time. She had offshore accounts, secret investments, and hidden properties that she never told the court about. While she was demanding $300 million from Doug, she had already hidden more than $150 million in secret funds. The judge flipped through the documents, his face growing more serious with every page. "Miss Christie," he said firmly, "do you have an explanation for this?" Jackie's mouth opened, but no words came out. She was trapped. If she admitted to hiding money, she could get into serious legal trouble. If she denied it, the evidence was already there to prove she was lying. And the craziest part? The more Doug's lawyer revealed, the worse it got for Jackie. "This is fraud," Doug's lawyer said. She tricked the system to gain sympathy while secretly protecting her own fortune. Jackie's breathing became shaky. Reporters were scribbling notes. Cameras were clicking. Her entire image was falling apart in real time. For months, she had made Doug look like the villain. But fate had taken an unexpected turn. The real villain was her. The judge sighed heavily, rubbing his temples. "Given these new facts, I will need time to review the evidence before making a ruling." But Doug was not finished yet. He leaned forward, his voice cutting through the noise in the courtroom. "There is one last thing I need to say." And that was the moment everything changed. Doug's next words sent a chill through the courtroom. The air was thick with tension. Jackie, who had once sat with confidence, was now shaking. Her fingers gripped the edge of the table. Her breath was shallow. But you will not believe what happened next. Doug took a deep breath and looked directly at Jackie. "For years, I stayed silent. I let you twist the truth, make me look like the bad guy, and make the world believe I was the one who did wrong. But this is what really happened." He turned to the judge. "I have proof that this divorce case should have never reached this point." Jackie knew exactly what she was doing. Jackie's lawyer tried to interrupt, but Doug's lawyer raised a hand. "Your Honor, we have obtained leaked emails and voice recordings that show Jackie planned this from the very beginning." The courtroom erupted. Jackie's entire scheme was about to be exposed. Doug's lawyer played the first recording. Jackie's voice filled the room. "I will make him pay for everything. He thinks he is smart, but he will never see this coming." Then, an email appeared on the screen. It was a message Jackie sent to her financial advisor months before she filed for divorce. "We need to move the money before I take him to court. I want it to look like I have nothing. The worse I look, the better my case." The room fell silent. Jackie's own words had just destroyed her case. The judge's face hardened. "Miss Christie, do you realize how serious this is?" Jackie's lips parted, but no sound came out. This was the most shocking part. Not only had she been lying, but she had planned the entire divorce case to make Doug look guilty and take as much money as possible. Her lawyer leaned in and whispered something, but Jackie shook her head. She refused to back down. But the truth was clear. Her case had just crashed in front of everyone. Doug stood up. "I wanted to handle this privately. But after everything you put me through, dragging my name through the mud, lying to the world, trying to ruin my life, I had no choice." He turned to the judge. "I am requesting an immediate dismissal of this case and full damages for the emotional and financial harm she has caused me." The judge nodded slowly. "Given the overwhelming evidence, I see no reason for this case to continue." He turned to Jackie. "Miss Christie, I suggest you prepare for the consequences of your actions." Jackie sat frozen. Her entire plan had just collapsed. What made this story different? She thought she could outsmart everyone. But in the end, she had played herself. Outside the courtroom, reporters were already broadcasting the shocking downfall of Jackie Christie. Doug walked out, his name finally cleared. Jackie, once powerful and untouchable, was now left with nothing but regret. And just like that, the $300 million divorce case crashed in the most unbelievable way.